At 18, when I turned 18, I really had it all. At 18, all the world can be your stage. I acted out my role in life. I really had a ball. And sometimes when I wanted to, I didn't act my age. My high school years behind me, and I was earning bread. A car, guitar, trendy clothes, a surfboard, and my mates. I worked hard to get them all. I wanted nothing else instead. And my rock and roll band's calendar was filling up with dates. And every month I fell in love, often more frequently, sometimes more intensely than I felt the time before. My sister and my parents always teased and laughed at me, so I'd shake my hair and laugh right back, and they'd tease me all the more. But then one day, out of the blue, I met this little chick. She smiled at me and completely took the wind out of my sail. My heart went thump. My legs turned weak. I felt a little sick. My throat went dry. I couldn't speak. And I'm sure my skin turned pale. All through the winter and the spring, I was completely hooked. I found I couldn't concentrate. My thoughts were full of her. My work and music suffered. We lost the dates we booked. Everything went out of focus and my mind was just a blur. I'd drive her to her job, then drive her home again that night. And if we could, we'd often have our lunch together too. And all weekend we'd park and talk. It always seemed so right. Sometimes we'd make love. It seemed the proper thing to do. One evening, early summer, she wanted to stay home. She had to wash her hair and have an early night, she said. So I went back to my parents' house and watched TV alone. And somewhere about 10:30, I switched off and went to bed. Next day, I went to pick her up as I always used to do. Her father opened up the screen and I knew he hadn't slept. His eyes were red and puffy and his skin was an ashen hue. He put his arms around me and then broke down and wept. He told me what had happened. An old flame had come around. He asked her to the pub to have a drink and chat, that's all. And sometime later in the night, the local traffic policeman found his car had left the road and he'd smashed into a wall. I rushed her into the hospital. Her mum was there, distraught. Kathy was just hanging on. She was still in surgery. And sometime in the evening, they turned off the life support. And in that moment, something died in me. I think that in all these years since, I've never shed a tear or even contemplated what had happened on that night. I never spoke about it right up till now and here as I sat down in my chair at my computer desk to write.